Welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 358 cop stories. Look them up, 7, 10, 11 minutes. About 10% of them are gross alerts, vice stuff, really gross stuff I can't forget. But 90% of them are really good stuff, vice, narcotics, gangs, foot pursuits, car pursuits. I hope you like them. And adding on to that, we've done 147 questions and answers. You guys send in questions, I answer you directly, and then like I'm doing now, we're going to put them on video. So we are putting them on video. So if you ask me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. Please send me questions, and I love answering them. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we're on an ongoing answer here. When Internal Affairs or has Internal Affairs talked to me? Okay, I laughed at this because they're something else. I'm going to continue here in a minute, but well, maybe I won't. I'll go a little bit later on something. But anyway, here's I'm going on me now. How many times I've been interviewed? Okay, the last one was dead guy in the car. Okay, interview. Okay, now here's another one. Working in a north part of the division, doesn't really matter, and we stop a guy and he's got a warrant. Okay, he's got I don't think it was a felony warrant. It was like a DUI warrant or something, high grade misdemeanor warrant. So I'm with a recruit out of the academy. Okay, and so I tell him, which after that, even before that, I'm surprised I even said this. Usually I don't. Usually I go up to someone as I'm talking to them and I just slide in behind and put the cuffs on them. Okay, not like TV where you're under arrest. Then I tell them, they go, what are you doing? Then you cuff them and you're under arrest for so-and-so. Well, I think I made the mistake. I'm pretty sure I did. I said, you're under arrest for a warrant. Well, when he got to the word warrant, he took off running. Okay. Okay. So I'm behind him. And my recruits, imagine you're out of the academy and all of a sudden you see your trained officer chasing this guy and so he's kind of late on the gun, so to speak. He's behind me. So I'm yelling, stall police. I'm only about from here to the camera from him, but we're going step for step. So I took out my nightstick, and we're not supposed to hit him in the head, which I didn't, okay? But I threw the nightstick at his feet, and it worked. It went through his legs, and, one leg caught the other and caught the stick, and boop, he took a header, and down he went. Of course, and I'm literally 3 steps from this camera from him, or 2 steps, some tall guy. And as soon as he goes down, I'm on him, okay? And put my knee on his back, I got my arm around his neck, and I'm not choking him, but I'm just holding him. Partner comes up, we cuff him, it's over. Okay. My partner was Caucasian, my recruit, I'm Mexican, and the suspect was Mexican. Now this comes up in a minute. Why I'm like before. I don't make these racial. I just want you to know where we're coming from here. Okay, so call a supervisor because there's a kind of an altercation. I tell him what happened. I told him about the stick. Told him what I did. He goes, okay, fine. Book him. We booked him. He was not injured. He had a little bit of face plant here on the side of his face, but it wasn't anything where it just bloody nose. I mean, it's not anything big. Okay, fine. Nothing broken. Well, sure enough, he made a complaint. A month goes by, I'm at roll call, they come in, like this, okay. I sit down. Okay, little side note here. At the time, this is the 70s, don't think they had many Latino sergeants in Internal Affairs because the guy that interviewed me, he'd interviewed me before, and I'd seen him in the hallway on another complaint, the same guy at our division. Our division was Latin, so I think they only had one Latin supervisor. Because here I've seen this guy, this is the second time for me, and I will see him again on another time. But I've seen him other where he's there. You can tell they're Internal Affairs. Nobody at a station, the detectives are upstairs. You know all those guys. These guys are walking around down in patrol with suits on and a righteous ID tag. So they're not from this world, so to speak. They're not from our division. They're outsiders, So anyway, so that's a little side note there. Okay, so now we're going to this room, and he shook our hands, sit down. I got a tape recorder, and then he's looking at me. He goes, "Have I talked to you before?" I said, "Yes, sir. I think before there was another complaint." "Oh yeah," and he goes like, "Oh yeah." We're like, "What the hell does that mean?" "Oh yeah." Like I don't come here every week, Anyway, give me that look. "Oh okay." And he had a Caucasian partner. Okay, fine. So they read the allegation against me. Excessive force, blah, blah, blah. Use a nightstick. You hit him with a nightstick. Blah, blah, and we're going to give this to this chief of police. It's going to district attorney's office. I'm like, now I told you before, I'm getting a little more time on this time. I'm a trained officer. Got a little more time on, and I got a little more, I don't know what you call it, cockiness, I guess, saltiness. When I'm like, all right, I did nothing wrong, okay? I got that book I was telling you about. Tells you how to tie your shoes. Everything's in there, okay? So they get, okay, now on this day, blah, 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 okay, and you're around it, yes. And here we go. Now, leans across the table. Tape recorder's right here. Now, is it true that you took out your nightstick and threw it at him? I said, yes, sir. Oh, so, and the other, his partner, oh, so you're admitting that you threw the nightstick at him? And then here's the tape going to go. Yes, I admit that. They're trying to get some kind of a, find out, they want to get a recap. In other words, they want to get some kind of, we call it a conviction, but they want to get some kind of a sustained allegation against an officer. That's their goal. They're not going to get you off. They want to get it, because they go back to their offices, just like district attorneys go back to their offices. Did you get a win or not? That's all they care about. You think the DAs care about doing a good job? They want to win, okay? City attorneys, they want to win. Internal affairs, they want to win. They want to go back and tell their boss, yeah, I got so-and-so. You know, he admitted it, you know. Okay. Oh, okay. So they go, okay, then what happened? Well, then I can explain to you. You know, you fell. Okay, who'd you report it to? Sergeant so-and-so. Oh, they're trying to see if I didn't report it to someone. See, they're trying to get you everything that you have to do out of that book. I want to make sure I did it. Then they asked my partner very few questions, because he's a recruiter at the academy. I'm the senior guy with the stripes. I'm the one that has to dictate everything that's done out there by the book, and I did, right by the numbers. So, okay, so after they're done, they go, oh, okay, Mexican guy, gives that look, you know. He goes, so you're telling me that you admit that you threw that stick at the defendant's leg? Oh, and by the way, they asked me that the second time, they asked me, why did you, I forgot about this, this is kind of important. Why did you throw the stick at the suspect? To stop him from fleeing. Oh, where did you throw it? At his legs. So you didn't throw it at his head? No. I go like this. No, because you're not supposed to hit people on the head with your nightstick. They didn't like that at all. When I did that, they just looked at me. You know, they figured out that I got the system down, and I'm not going to sit there and fold under these guys. Okay, you better bring a bigger guy. Okay. So anyway, somebody goes. So at the end, the partner, the Caucasian sergeant says, "So you're admitting that you threw a nightstick at him, at his legs to stop him from fleeing?" Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, we're done here. So he pushes record. He goes, "I guess I'll be seeing you again." I don't know, Sarge. I guess. Yeah, I know. If I see you next time, you're mine. And I said, you want to put that on tape? Can I push the tape recorder? I went to push it. He pulls it away, the other guy. Oh, you don't want that on tape? Okay, I was just wondering. He didn't like that at all, man. He looked at me like, okay. He says, here we go. Guys, which one? Okay. So anyway, so they go away. They didn't come back. They went 2 or 3 months go by. I get a call to meet the captain, my captain. Go in the office. This captain has picked me for vice, for gangs, for patrol, from the top step, arresting people. Sit down. He said, I got the report back from Internal Affairs. I'm going, uh-oh. Now I'm a little worried, because this is the guy that can give me days off without pay. Okay. He goes, notice here, they put down here as a footnote that you had a surly attitude. Oh, man. And the footnote is not part of the investigation. It's just their observations. Okay. They have their actual investigation, and they have little observations like, I didn't like his attitude or something. That's basically what they were saying. And so I told him what I told you. This is what they did. And I go, Eileen, he goes, hey, that's pretty good. Okay. Because the captain, believe it or not, when he was a lieutenant, all this side notes, he was the first Latino lieutenant on this department. Okay. And the first Latino captain. But when he was a lieutenant, he took the job of defending officers on false allegations. He was like a public defender, so to speak, of officers. So he knew, because all those guys deal with is internal affairs, because they're the ones who present the case to the board that convicts officers or exonerates officers. So he's very well versed in what they do. So when I told him I leaned forward all that, he thought that was pretty funny. I go, what do they recommend? He goes, well, they recommend an official reprimand. I'm like, what? He goes, what do you think? I said, a reprimand means that I won't do it again? That's what it means, right? He goes, yeah. Well, if it happens again, Captain, I'm going to throw that stick again. It stopped him. I didn't hit him in the head. He goes, yeah, that's a little unauthorized, but I said, would it be different if I got close enough to my stick and smacked him on the legs with a stick? What's the difference? He goes, well, the difference is that you lose control of the stick and he could pick it up. Not the way he was running. He was going to be past that stick. He goes, okay. He says, I recommend nothing. That's it. That was the end of it. So they didn't get their conviction, so to speak, on me. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, I'm answering these questions as best I can, because the question was another one. Here comes another one. Okay, this one's weird. In those days, we had a chokehold, and you'll see it on the arena, the MMAs and all that stuff. In fact, the last big fight they had with that Irishman and that guy from Russia. Russia beat that guy with a carotid chokehold, okay, which is right here, was here. He got around him and he got his bicep and his forearm on the, I don't know what his name was, an Irish guy, on his neck, and it collapses, it pushes in the carotid, and he passed out. So he wouldn't pass out because he tapped out. But when we fight out there in those days, you do that until they stop fighting. It takes about 7-8 seconds. It's fast, okay? And usually accompanying that, they poop their pants, which is kind of a bonus because you kind of did, you cut meat there, so to speak. You succeeded. When you hear that fateful sound of flatulence, you know you're done, okay? Kind of like one of those turkeys for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up in a week or so. A little bit of thing pops out. Well, a little brown stuff pops out. We're good to go here. Okay, I'm getting on a sidetrack here, but that's what it was. Okay, so there was a rec center. There was a basketball courts and stuff out of a church. Well, I have a lot of side notes on this one, but I don't want to get into that. But anyway, but they had a lot of gang members hung out there. And what the gang members would do is they would go into these schoolyards where the kids were playing after school, and they would just tell them to leave. So the kids would sometimes would take their basketball, or sometimes the gang members would take their basketball, and the poor kids left. These are kids that went to school, and the gang members took over the parking lot. Okay, that ain't gonna happen. We get radio calls there all the time. So one day we got a radio call in the afternoon. Some kids that got beat up, they took their basketball. So we get there, and as we pull up and get out, the kids are pointing to, Blade knows, they're pointing to a guy that took their basketball. Okay, so he's yelling, he's a gang member, he's like 20. These kids are 14, 13 years old. What a man, huh? Real macho man. So I go to get him, right? Well, he starts to run, okay? Told me he was innocent later. You're right, why do you run? So I chased him, caught him right next to it was outside, so right next to the gym that goes in, I got him by the hair. He had long hair, so I grabbed the hair and pulled him back, and I'm choking him. This is Latino, all kinds of Caucasian schoolyard patrons are out there screaming at us for hurting their children. He's 20 years old, okay? 19, 20. Leave him alone, he's Latino. I'm thinking, so am I. I'm yelling back at him. I'm arguing with the guys. I'm choking this guy out, okay? Well, I see flashes. They're taking pictures, okay? So it was over in a second. I mean, we used the bar arm, which the bar arm is instead of this one, it's this one, where you use this part here and put it against your trachea. That's the one that got us in trouble because it wasn't killing people, but they were on dope, and you took off their air and then they died. So they were blaming this instead of blaming the suspect for being on dope. Almost every one of them, but that's okay. That's public relations, ACLU and all those guys. Okay. So anyway, so it was over in a matter of 5 or 6 seconds. He's down on the ground, I cuffed him, it's over. Well, he made a complaint. Okay. But that was handled by divisional sergeants because they told Internal Affairs. Internal Affairs says, no, we'll let your division handle it. So it was handled by one of our sergeants. So I wish, what's coming up here, I wish I had saved this. After about a month later, the investigation was over. Same captain called me in. What happened? I told him. And he goes, did you notice that when you were choking the guy, you saw flashes? I mean, oh, yeah, what was that anyway? He goes, they were taking your picture. Oh, okay. So what does he do? He puts a picture down, turns it around, slides it to me. And it's a kind of a out of focus picture of me. I apparently had seen one flash. And I looked up as I'm choking him, and I smiled because I got the guy around the neck, and I like this, with a stupid look on my face. And the next shot was me of that one. They hated that. They thought that was horrible, the people in the school. They thought that was terrible. I'm laughing, I'm choking. They didn't like that at all. They thought that was horrible, that I was enjoying this, okay? I get on a side note here, okay, before I continue. I explained this to people down in the Watts area and all these projects. They used to get mad because my guys were smiling when they're kicking indoors for narcotic search warrants. I used to tell them this, and I'll tell you this. If you ever go to a fire, a blown out house fire, and there's firemen on ladders, and there's firemen on the roof, and there's firemen, they are laughing and enjoying themselves. Because this is what they do for a living. This is what they don't shine cars and go to sleep in the barracks while you're working every day and all night long. This is what they live for fires. They love it. I would never get on a roof, but I'm just saying. So when I used to go to robbery calls with a shotgun, armed suspect, shots fired at a bank, this is what I do. I'm smiling at it. So when I'm choking people, I'm not saying I'm enjoying it, but I'm having a pretty good time that I'm not the one being choked. Okay? I'm not the one being shot. I'm doing what I do, and sometimes I enjoy it. A lot of times I enjoyed myself. So he says, so they didn't like that. I got a side note here. And so he says, well, the sergeant came back and said, you're justified, everything's fine. He goes, I think I'll just tear up this picture. And if I was a young guy then, if I was do it now, I would have said, give me the picture, because, I wanted to have it. It wasn't very clear. It was, somebody took a quick, in the old days with a camera with film, so it wasn't a very good shot. But it was me smiling. You could see, definitely know it was me. It's a pretty good picture. So he just tore it up and said, you're fine, why don't you go ahead and get out of here, because I was, again, top step, top producer, and I wasn't getting in trouble. This is ridiculous. Okay, but I found out I'm out of time, so I'm so sorry, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.